Hi, my name is Doug Mayhews, and I will be demonstrating the Canadian Major Dailies subscription database that's offered through ProQuest on an annual basis to many academic as well as public libraries during the course of this webinar. I also have an attached fact sheet that serves as a sort of informational circular or quick reference guide that may aid in future searches. Some of the objectives of this webinar would be basically to identify the purpose and scope of the electronic subscription database Canadian Major Dailies in terms of the publications that it searches, as well as to give you several strategies that may help to improve the relevancy of your results, and then both save and select those results that you ultimately choose, and ensure that you properly cite them in a form and manner that has been prescribed in a manner that is more efficient. So let's move forward to the databases. As you can see, we're using the Langara College Library site, and as you can see, the web pages, or subscription databases rather, are sorted alphabetically as well as by subject or course discipline. In this case, we'll just use the alphabetical listing. We'll click on Canadian Major Dailies here. If we had not been signed in, it would ask us typically for our academic or patron credentials, and then that would route us through to the appropriate database. Often a quick way to determine the scope of a database is to look for something that says resources or publications in terms of seeing what you're actually searching. And as you can see, when we view these in either summary mode or title mode, summary mode gives you all kinds of details in terms of the length of coverage that they archive articles for, as well as other pertinent information, whether full text is available and that sort of thing, or you can just view them in title mode. As you can see, there's roughly 24 publications, but you'll note that under the D's, my local paper, the Kelowna Daily Courier, is actually not listed. So it lists most of the Canadian Major Daily newspapers, but not all of them. And now we'll just go back to our basic search screen and point out some search tips that may help you as well in terms of any advanced search commands or Boolean operators, as they're known, that are accepted by the various databases, including Canadian Major Dailies. And as you can see, that's loaded in a new window. And as you can see, when we scroll down to the operators, fields, and special characters section, we have typical operators such as AND, which basically narrows your search results by ensuring that both of the words on either side of the operator must be found within the given results. Conversely, OR would expand your given results to either one of them. You may also use the NOT operator, which basically will exclude any words that are following that operator, which is useful if you have a word that can apply in several different situations. You may want to exclude that certain word. There is also proximity searching, where you can use either the word near or the letter N, followed by the backslash, and then the variable lowercase n is simply in place of the number you wish to use. And so let's say you wanted to search for two words, but they didn't necessarily have to be together. You could input, say, 10, so you would go near backslash 10, and what that would do is allow several words, or 10 words, to be between the two words that you're searching. So it's similar but not the same as exact phrase searching, which would be the next one. As you can see, you basically just enclose words in quotation marks to ensure that those words must be found together. That's very similar to what you may be used to with doing a Google web search or similar web search engine. So we'll just close that out, but helpful to know anyway. So we'll just try conducting an advanced search here. You may remember about 10 or 12 years ago, there was a pet food recall in Canada, and actually, let's say you were a business or communication student looking to study the handling of the communications in terms of crisis, from a crisis management perspective, or looking to research how the company just generally handled the situation. You might want to research a number of articles that were printed at the time. So we could insert the words pet food recall, and as you see, if we were to just, as we type it in, it will actually give you some suggestions. That's also useful for things like subject headings to search for various synonyms for a particular search. And so as you can see, I've already pre-filled them here. We've included the company name, Menu Foods, and then we want to restrict it to Canada. And then we do also want to search anywhere versus some other field, because we want to make sure that those words are searched within the full text of the articles. In this case, we would want to specify a publication date range. So to do this, we would just select this drop-down box here, and then specifying a specific date range. We would enter the period because we know it was sometime between 2006 and 2009, and then we would want to restrict it to English language articles. And we would probably want to, for our first search, choose to sort by relevance, but in the interest of time, we'll just search by the most recent first, because in this case, we're pretty sure that it's going to be the right results that we're looking for, and we would just hit search. And as you can see, they're sorted chronologically, so having initially searched by relevance to gauge whether or not we have the right number of results, we've now modified our search. And it is important to point out that by using the modify search link, that will actually allow your previous search query to be retained rather than wiping it out if you were to use the back button. And so we can see they're now sorted with the most recent result at the top. Judge OK's $24 million menu food settlement from the National Post by that reporter. Let's say we wanted to select that one. That's just a little browser error. We would select that, and then we could either save that to a specific folder, which would prompt you to create a ProQuest account, and then you could either email those results to yourself for use later. And then if we wanted to actually cite that result, rather than trying to look through the actual specific publication details to pick out the information that we need, we could select our citation format. In this case, you'll note that ProQuest hasn't updated their format for the MLA citation format to the 8th edition, but for the purposes of this demonstration, we'll just go ahead and use the 7th edition, and then we could either copy and paste that, or we could email it to ourselves, or use a external reference management software such as RefWorks, or another good one that I particularly like is Zotero, as it's free and open source, and I've highlighted that in the associated fact sheet. And now we'll flip back to the fact sheet. So basically, there's all sorts of tips in there, and I would welcome any feedback, or if you have any further questions or need help with any search strategies and refining your searches, please definitely contact me, as you can see at the contact information in the associated informational circular. Thank you.